Keenan. So I've been an entrepreneur for 14 years now, Keenan. The blockchain bug kind of caught me back in 2016. That was the first time I was introduced to the whole space around Ethereum. After spending almost around a year researching the technology and essentially trying to understand what this really means, I ended up winning the London Blockchain Week hackathon in January 2017. After winning the hackathon, that was the time when I also met Hugh Card from Nexus Mutual. So at that time, Nexus was still Hugh was still trying to kind of build out Nexus, in terms of the white paper and stuff. So I met him, I guess, at the right time, and we immediately kind of started working together. And then we used with my team here in India, we started developing Nexus Mutual for almost 2.5, 3 years. I joined as the CTO of Nexus, kind of saw it through launch in May 2019. And in this journey, Keenan, there was so much that we learned from 2017 to kind of mid 2019 and even towards the later months of 19. So much happened. The DeFi term, which we are today talking about so often, was not as big back then, but then seeing the vision of Nexus Mutual and a lot of similar projects, Uniswap came in. It was phenomenal to see how disintermediation can be done using smart contracts, and that was kind of very, very fascinating for us. Back in Feb 2020, Keenan, that was the time when I kind of decided to move on from Nexus and try to build something which was very close to my heart. And as you mentioned, prediction markets have been in this space for some time, but I wanted to kind of use the learnings that we got from building Nexus Mutual and also observing the AMM innovation done behind Uniswap. And we kind of thought that why not combine the AMM innovation into prediction markets so as to change the way prediction markets are seen today. So that's a very quick background on myself. That's where I am.
Cool. Yeah. Thanks a lot for sharing. It's amazing coming from Nexus Mutual and the insurance side and then coming here. And for the audience, do you want to maybe just give a quick background on what is PlotX and kind of your guys' elevator pitch?
Absolutely. So it's very simple. PlotX lets you predict on the price movement of crypto assets. So you can hop on to, it's live on Ethereum already. You can go on to app.plotx.io. To predict on the price of crypto assets like Bitcoin and Ether. There are 4 hourly, daily, and weekly markets available. You can just go. There is a 3-sided liquidity on every market. It's a short, neutral, and a long position. So just to go on them and predict on where you think the price is going to go, obviously based on the technical analysis that the traders can do. And then it's a zero-sum game between the 3 liquidity options for every market. The markets settle on chain and the rewards are distributed on chain. So it's a non-custodial prediction market protocol that works on price predictions and price movements of crypto assets.
Very, very, very interesting. Yeah, thanks a lot for sharing that. And so with this, I assume decentralized oracles and how you get your prices play a major role. Do you want to kind of talk about the architecture and the integration of how you use Chainlink?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, Keenan, oracles are probably the strongest, or I would say the backbone of a decentralized prediction market. Because, the biggest issue in prediction markets is how are the markets settled? There have been a lot of attempts which have been made on prediction markets even today. In the traditional world as well, we have prediction markets in the crypto space. Amazing stuff has been done by some of the people behind, Augur and Omen, and Polymarket has also come in. The main issue that we, at least as a team, kind of think about is how do we disintermediate the trust when it comes to settlement of a market, which is also the reason why we have chosen to kind of stay very focused on price feed driven predictions, because thanks to Chainlink and the availability of decentralized oracles, the level of decentralization which can be achieved with respect to price predictions is superior thanks to the availability of these oracles. So I think that is what is the reason behind the choice of architecture that we've done. So when it comes to PlotX, I think what really happens is the markets are the way markets are created is actually based on the AMM algorithm that we use. So it's not like people, I mean, you don't have to think about what type of market to create, and which is, probably the biggest difference that we have kind of sort of developed. So the markets are created in a periodic manner, for example, a 4-hour market or a daily market or a weekly market. When the markets are created, there is a three-sided liquidity, short, long, and neutral position. These three options that are created are also driven by how the current price of an asset is when the market is getting created, which is also taken from Chainlink. Now, after the settlement time, when the market settles, how does the market settle? Once again, it is Chainlink which kind of provides us with the price of that specific asset. When that price gets fed on chain, the settlements happen on chain without any manual intervention. So we've tried our level best to kind of reduce the counterparty risk when it comes to the market creation, participation, and settlement. So it's a non-custodial setup where the settlements are done using smart contracts. And I think oracles are by far one of the most critical elements to the success behind prediction markets in general.
Yeah, thanks a lot for that answer. And so what kind of went into the decision process from, yourself as like the CTO background, from like creating your own Oracle compared to like kind of using, something like Chainlink within your product?
I think, so Keenan, it's not about us creating an Oracle. The way PlotX is designed is that markets can be created by the community. So we have an on-chain governance mechanism. So as on date, only 2 assets are being predicted on, which was the default choice when we launched. So one is Ether and the other is Bitcoin. As and when the community wants to launch more assets, for example, we recently did a poll on which assets would the community like to predict on. And for those polls, some of the options which were quite nice to see were, for example, Wi-Fi. People want to predict on where Wi-Fi is going. Now, when the community kind of votes on specific types of markets to be created, they are the ones who actually add the oracle in which with which they would like that market to settle. And as the team, we believe that choosing decentralized oracles are probably the best when it comes to settlement. So we never, our intention was never to create, at least for up till now, we've never really thought of creating our own oracle, because that kind of adds to a counterparty risk on our side. So we've kind of advocated for using decentralized oracles, but at the end, it's up to the community. They are the ones who are creating markets. The protocol itself is not creating markets. It's just a way to facilitate the community to create markets. So yeah, that's where we are.
Yeah, it's very, very interesting. I like how you kind of take the community perspective of it, and it's up to the community to decide exactly what they want to do. And kind of on that point, like what is PlotX's approach to DeFi, and kind of how do you see like the community and your team kind of supporting the growth? And
yeah, I think DeFi is here to stay, Keenan. The way the ecosystem has evolved, the amazing innovation which has happened over the last couple of years is beyond words, to be honest. I feel in terms of the approach we have taken after working in the space for almost 3.5, 4 years, building some really complex projects. As a team, we are trying to disintermediate financial intermediaries as much as possible, while still making sure that the user experience for an average trader or user or somebody who wants to get into the crypto space is as simple as possible. So we want to make sure that the systems are non-custodial. It's an ethos that we follow from day one, since the development of, since we started the development in Feb 2020. It's been almost around 8-9 months now. We've been very, very careful of making sure that the systems that are being developed, the protocol that has been developed is non-custodial in nature. It follows a certain parameter with respect to how the markets are designed and created and settled. But at the same time, I think user experience is absolutely very critical. So from an approach of DeFi perspective, non-custodianship plus disintermediation, along with a user experience which people are not very afraid of. So I think that's what we've been kind of looking at, Keenan, and trying our best to solve.
Very cool. Yeah, no, it's amazing how far the user experience of a lot of these products has come within, even just this past year, but let alone over the past 3-4 years since this all kind of took off and got started. And I got to ask, like, what are your kind of like views within like DeFi on a security standpoint? You see a lot of these new protocols kind of coming out and different hacks happening. As your standpoint of former CTO of Nexus and CEO of PlotX, like kind of how do you view that, and what do you think can maybe be improved within just the overall DeFi ecosystem?
Absolutely. I think I learned a lot when I was at Nexus. Security was one of the most important aspects for you and for the team. For Nexus itself, we went through multiple security audits. And then there was an internal risk team which was set up as well. And I saw you kind of tweeting about it yesterday, or I think today, speaking about how risk teams need to be built. So a lot of those learnings kind of obviously came through into PlotX as well. We went through 2 audits before launching on the Ethereum mainnet. Our alpha on the Ethereum Coven testnet was live for 3 months. And we had, I think if I remember the figures correctly, we had more than 13,000 unique Ethereum addresses and users who had tested the alpha on the Coven testnet before it was actually launched on the Ethereum mainnet. So I think alpha testing followed by 2 security audits by renowned professionals and companies, which were external, obviously, went into the launch on the Ethereum mainnet. And after that as well, we are following a similar risk assessment approach where we have continuous audits which are being done, continuous code reviews which are being done of the smart contract changes that we do. So I think security, Keenan, is absolutely critical. The food token show that we saw in this summer was I mean, I don't know what to say, but a lot of these, I would say, the projects did not pay a lot of attention to the audits. But I would also say that it's not really, at times it's not, I mean, the space is so complicated, right? I mean, writing smart contracts is not an easy job. There is always a risk, despite how much you get audits done, whatever sort of risk assessments you do, you are only reducing the risk. But given the space is so new, even the finest of the projects have to face some challenge. So yeah, I think it's a work in progress. The processes overall are improving. We are it's a wild jungle out there right now, but I think it's all for the good.
Yeah, it's definitely a jungle out there, and gotta be safe. But yeah, I think that's really good advice. And for the developers that are tuning in and that will watch this, do you have any advice for an upcoming developer within the Ethereum or just DeFi ecosystem, and one, like how to approach like security, but also just like advice for creating successful products as you've shown to be able to do?
Yeah, I think, I mean, if there are developers watching this video, I mean, guys, this is Wall Street being built from scratch. So imagine, I mean, if somebody is entering the space, I mean, you've got to understand how and what DeFi really is doing to the whole ecosystem today. So the money Legos are being rebuilt, the Wall Street is being rebuilt. So you look at any specific element of the Wall Street, and you have a corresponding element in DeFi, which is kind of emulating that. So if you like building money Legos, I think this is where this this is where you got to go. This is where you got to build. And there are so many live projects out there to learn from now. I mean, back in 2016, 17, Keenan, the only way to learn was to go into conferences and listen to Vitalik talking about what's it going to take to have a killer app of Ethereum. The killer app of Ethereum has come, right? I mean, Ethereum has DeFi, so I guess that is there, and now it's upon us as devs and the community community overall to kind of take it to the next level. One area where I think a lot of work is required, and I think a lot of smart people are really doing it, is on improving the user experience, toolkits to improve the user experience in DeFi applications, and I guess scaling. I mean, it's a golden problem to solve. So much has happened on that side, but I guess these are two areas where I think if as a developer somebody is entering into the space, the hottest areas are to kind of solve the UX of a lot of these applications to kind of get into mass or mainstream adoption, and also obviously scaling.
Yeah, I think that's really good advice, and hopefully Eth2, which is, to my surprise, went through. Everyone came through with the buzzer beater, which was great to see yesterday. Yeah, so really exciting news.
Hopefully that kicked in massively. Yeah.
Back with like PlotX, what is kind of what are you currently focused on working on, and then what's on your product roadmap over like the next 6 months?
Yeah, absolutely. So, Keenan, we launched on the Ethereum mainnet on the 13th of October. So it's been almost like 40, 50 days since then. So currently what we are focused on is to kind of learn from the feedback which the community is giving us, and make sure that we are solving them as soon as possible. So a couple of things which has kind of kept us busy over the last 40 days is optimizing for reducing the gas costs which are being spent on Ethereum for operationalizing the PlotX protocol, and also kind of participating in prediction markets. Some amazing achievements that we've done is approximately 60% reduction in gas costs while being on Ethereum. So we've kind of optimized the smart contracts after a lot of due diligence on how they could be done. We are going to roll that out sometime this week. So hopefully that improves the liquidity potential on the prediction markets. The other thing that we've done is we've kind of expanded the role of market creators, and I would love to kind of throw it out on this AMA. So there is the role of market creators on PlotX has now increased to the level that if you are creating a market, you can get up to 5% rewards from the pool which gets generated on the 3 liquidity options. So the incentive alignment for market creators has been revised. Earlier it wasn't there, and now we've introduced it. There has been a lot of positive feedback from different influencers and different people who keep talking about price predictions on Twitter. So the idea now is to kind of convert them into putting some stake on their tweets as well, and making sure that they are actually putting out those putting some money on the markets that they create, and in turn of a potential reward for doing that. So these are some of the things that we've been doing, Keenan. In terms of where we are going from here, in terms of the next 3 months, I think 2 things which are very, very close to my heart essentially is one, how do we preserve the composability of the DeFi stack while still scaling it, especially while being on Ethereum. So we are aware and we are cognizant of the fact that we need to reduce gas costs for the protocol to be successful. We need to increase the scalability. We need to get more transactions happening in a short span of time. All of those things are kind of obvious, but one of the biggest things and the challenges in front of me is to kind of make sure that we are preserving the composability of the DeFi stack on Ethereum while still making it scalable, and also researching very, very closely with layer 2 chains. I think this is something which we and you guys are also kind of working very closely on. We are experimenting on porting smaller term markets on layer 2 chains, which includes Matic. We're also kind of seeing how what that means, because I'm aware of Chainlink becoming recently available on the Matic chain as well. So that kind of eases out our life with respect to the availability of price oracles. Those are the couple of 2 things. Couple of things, Keenan, which we are kind of focused on at the moment. apart from that, obviously making sure that we are listening to the community and fixing problems as they come.
Yeah, thanks a lot for sharing. No, layer twos are very, very exciting. Yeah, so it should be cool to see that progress coming forth, and especially all the work that the Matic team is working on, and sounds like you guys are working on too. If the audience wants to follow your progress, and I know that you have some other things that you wanted to share with the Chainlink community too afterwards, where's the best place for them to join your channels and follow
I
you?
think I mean, we've got a couple of ways to be, involved in. So we have a Telegram group, which is more focused on very casual conversations and general project upgrades and announcements. If there are devs in this AMA, and if there are people who are interested more on joining us for more technical conversations, we have a Discord group as well. Happy to provide the links in chat. And kind of get people joining on those groups. Yeah, I think Telegram and Discord are the best places. We are also on Twitter, of course, so please do follow us on Twitter, guys.
Cool. Yeah, I'll make sure to drop all of those links into the description after this video. I'll also just drop the website into the chat, which will have the links at the bottom for the Discord and Telegram. Yeah, no, thanks a lot for joining us here. It's been really exciting. And before we wrap up, yeah, I'm really interested to know also, like how is the development of, just cryptocurrencies and especially DeFi growing where you are in India and on a development standpoint? Where do you see things?
I mean, it's I don't know what to say, Keenan. It's looking very positive. We've been going through the ups and downs of regulatory challenges here in India with respect to crypto, but all good so far. I think the ecosystem is really warming up. Some really solid teams are coming out of India. There's a hashtag which kind of trends on Twitter which says India wants crypto. My friend Nishchal from WazirX keeps very hard at it. So I think the community is really warmed up. There is a lot of interest from the retail segment. From a crypto perspective specifically, I think with the advent of new exchanges here in India, which are very India focused, with the advent of new on-ramping solutions. The other day I was having a conversation with MoonPay. Those guys have got an on-ramping solution for our Indian people. And I think that's an amazing development. Getting more and more people on-ramped onto the crypto highway, I think is the first step towards kind of mass adoption here in India. Apart from that, I see a lot of potential from a DeFi perspective in India. I think India inherently has been ahead of the curve with respect to digital money. They are used to using a lot of these mobile applications and stuff for transacting in their day-to-day financial transactions, and moving them into something which is more disintermediated is going to be very interesting to see how the business models change here in India. So yeah, overall very bullish on the ecosystem and the overall tech community getting warmed up.
Cool. Yeah, it's very exciting. I know, like, at least especially within like the Chainlink hackathon, like blown away by some of the developers, that are living there and that are pushing everything forward in this space. Very impressive. Before we wrap up, is there anything else that maybe we didn't talk about that you wanna add for the audience?
Oh, I think we did cover a lot of good stuff. I mean, we are actively hiring as well, Keenan. So if there are people who are looking at this video, and we are looking for all sorts of roles, whether it's developers or product manager, or we're also looking for folks in our community and community development side as well. So if there are folks who are interested to join us, please do let us know. And yeah, I think we did cover a lot of other stuff.
Great. Yeah. That's great for anyone else listening. Yeah. So they're hiring. Definitely make sure to join their communities and start those conversations. Ish, it was great speaking with you. Really appreciate you taking the time and joining this evening for yourself.
Thank you so much, Keenan. Thanks a lot for doing this.
Cool. And everyone listening in, yeah, I'll make sure to drop all the links, everything that we chatted about in the description right after this. YouTube will upload, and then it should be out in about an hour, maybe two. And later today, we also have a developer workshop with Patrick Collins, our developer advocate, about how to prevent price oracle and flash loan attacks. So definitely make sure to join, and make sure to hit the subscribe and like button, and we'll see you next time.